Do you remember the neo soul era? How would you define it? What was neo soul? Doesn't this hair and this outfit just kind of remind you of like the neo soul era? And I was just thinking about it and I'm like, wow, that was an era of time where the music, the fashion wasn't really able to be duplicated. It wasn't able to be replicated because it was like an intimate time in Black American culture. The time has came and went, but I do like to go back on Pinterest and look at inspo pictures. So this hair, I really feel like it's giving Erykah Badu, it's giving Beyonce, 2002, 2003, maybe 2005, mid 2000s. Now, although Beyonce did not give us neo soul music, she definitely had the aesthetic. Okay, I'm on Pinterest, I'm scrolling because I love looking at hair inspo Beyonce of that era, of that time. Now I don't know if that was her hair, it looks like her hair, but either way I really don't care. It was giving life, it was giving fluff, it was giving edges, kinky edges, and I've been really into that lately, embracing the imperfect look. If you're new to my channel or if you've been on my channel, I'm the kinky edges girl, okay? Neo means like new, and then you had soul, like new generation, new soul. A lot of Black Americans are calling themselves Solon, like soul sister, Solon, and I like it. It's cool. I don't really see it like that, but I understand, Soul, we the soul people, in your heart. Soul food, Solon, neo soul. We are all about the soul, okay? So I get it. I like it. I'm not mad at it. It's cool. It's cool. Neo soul. Though it's not something that could be replicated and redone today because you just have to be there. Ultimately, it's a good thing that it wasn't replicated and dupable, because look what K-pop is doing. K-pop has successfully ripped off all of the Black American singers, dancers. They were able to take that era and resample it, remix it. It's not as hot and make money from it. People have an issue with it, but not that much, because the people that are watching them, majority, I feel like, are foreigners. I don't think that the people that are taking that content or that music that's being put out is offensive to them, because they're not necessarily in this culture. I really feel like neo soul was something that was created because people wanted to like maybe return to self. Maybe it was kind of like a silent or maybe a loud protest. I have to go back and look at the timeline. So who coined the term neo soul? So the term neo soul was coined and popularized by Kadar Masonberg. I hope I'm saying his name right. He was the president of Motown Records from 1997 to 2004. He was also the manager of D'Angelo, and he was the earlier supporter of Erykah Badu during the whole Baduism era. So before the name was coined, or before the term was used, artists were already kind of blending the 70s soul, jazz harmony, hip-hop rhythm, live instruments. It was kind of an industry term used to package a sound that was already happening. It was already developed. Things that came out of that was acid jazz, quiet storm, alternative R&B, and they also had an underground phase. So from 95 to 98, we had things like brown sugar, Baduism, Maxwell's urban hang suite. So by 1997 to 99, the term neo soul was already kind of being used in press and marketing. So when you get to 99 to 2002, this is where you get the era of Lauryn Hill, Jill Scott, India.Arie. So neo soul is definitely a thing at this time. It's identifiable. It's clearly visually identifiable. Everybody was wearing very similar knits and colors and tones and different textures. Gigi Hunter was known for her knitwear in that early 2000s wave of crochet, knit dresses, cutouts. It was bright colors, especially on Black women in music and pop culture. A lot of those looks were credited to a designer named Gigi Hunter, who became known for those bold knit and crochet silhouettes. What I love is, I like the handmadeness of that celebrity couture look. It photographed well. It was very sexy, very slinky, very like made for your body, made for your body shape. It looked good on everyone. And it wasn't trying to be clean girl-esque or minimum. It was very intricate and detailed. Lots of different textures and shapes. And it was giving drama, but very still like natural-esque. And they were expensive, girl. I tried to look up a couple the other day. Ooh, they still pricey. This look that Beyonce wore, that baby blue, that denim type of blue, very 70s-esque. resonant, or it reminded me of Aretha Franklin. She had something close to this silhouette, this type of jumpsuit, and it was knit like that. So it was very, very much 70s coded and so perfect for the neo soul fashion. So neo soul was definitely a thing at this time, and it was kind of positioned in a way in the industry where this was like authentic blackness, you know. It's or just authenticity was definitely in response to the late 90s pop explosion. So you had Britney Spears, you had NSYNC, teen pop, hyper stylized visuals. It was very glossy. It wasn't very gritty. It wasn't really real, and more teen sexy, teen like bubblegum pop type of sound, whereas neo soul kind of positioned itself as something that's musically sexy grown, not very gritty, very real, you know. And pop was plastic. Pop was, you know, fake. So neo soul was like the response to the anti-pop. It wasn't plastic. Like I mentioned earlier, Beyonce was not a neo soul artist. She was definitely adjacent to it, and she was still inspired by that movement. So she kind of came up alongside of that movement while also filming for Austin Powers. Over the years, Beyonce has consistently mentioned that she recorded a lot of material for the Dangerously in Love album. She wanted to show range. She didn't want to be locked into one lane. The album went through late sequences and tonal decisions. So I wouldn't say that Dangerously in Love was a scrapped neo soul album. That's not true. I would say that Beyonce tested multiple adult classic and experimental influences before choosing a pop forward debut. For example, Beyonce has a lot of 70s retro influences in the Crazy in Love song that was also featured on the Dangerously in Love album. So it samples a Shy Lights 1970s sample. The sound felt retro and real earthy compared to the Y2K pop movement. So if Beyonce had fully gone the neo soul route, I do not think she would have been the mega superstar, pop star, R&B diva that she is today. Beyonce definitely is R&B and pop, right? I would say. Solange, that's so funny. Solange. She was kind of like on the tail end of neo soul, but I really feel like her aesthetic and her sound and what she meshed together for her album was very much like on the tail end of that. From the 70s, you know, jazz, gospel, they meshed together. It was a lot of different things, which is why the aesthetic looked a certain way, you know? Shirt, I really feel like if this was like, this probably did come from 2002. I have no idea. I thrifted this, but this is very like, yeah, soul sister. You know, I like it. It's really cute, and I really hope we have a resurgence of that. It kind of reminds me of the natural hair movement. Now, I know this was like mid-2010s era. Well, for me, it was 2010s era. I was talking to my boyfriend. He told me that he believes it kind of started around 2008 when we had like the stock market crash or something like that. The other recession, girl. We done had so many recessions in America. I don't know. Anyway, I remember saying in school, it's a recession. And I didn't even really know what a recession was. I just know we were saying it. I can't share this. It's a recession. I can give you my chips. It's a recession. You just say that. We didn't really understand what it was. But during that time, I think a lot of business ladies and girls that was making coin in the corporate world, we had a lot of corporate black girls doing stuff. And I think they were coming to the house getting their hair done, okay? My mother, she was doing like this hairstyle. This hairstyle was popping. She was doing the crochet in the kitchen, I remember. A lot of women had this hairstyle. This was like super popular, including shirts like this. And I really think that the whole natural hair movement came off the backs of that 2008 crash, and the ladies didn't have the coin to go get that creamy crack, right? I feel like something with the creamy crack, not gonna get your hair done. Good. What was that documentary? Was it Good Hair? What with Chris Rock? That was a really popular thing too. We watched that. It was a documentary just talking about women and their hair weaves, right? We used to call it her hair weaves, you know. So YouTube had a resurgence of women going natural, and I really think it's because we didn't have any money, and women were growing their hair out, trying to figure out how they can maintain their hair. And they were trying to dive into the natural. Now, this was kind of uncharted territory. People liked the natural-ish look, but girls weren't all the way natural. And I was inspired in high school to cut my hair off. I had long hair in high school, and I just was inspired by the women that was cutting their hair off, a TWA. It was a completely different movement. The natural hair movement of the 2010s, you just have to be there. I'm happy that I got a chance to experience that. A lot of you new people probably will never get that experience. You never felt like to be together. y'all all was bald headed with your TWAs, and I see you at the Target like, yeah, I see you, girl. I see you, girl. Your TWA. We was like, we was together. We didn't even know each other. It was just like a secret code. Like, yeah, we're going natural. It was nice. We were just all trying to experiment with different products. This is when Shea Moisture did things for our hair. I don't use it now. I don't know what the girls are using now. That Curl Enhancing Smoothie. Yeah, it was like, oh, girl. Yeah, girl. Tasha, girl. Oh, girls. You know? It was a wonderful time. And I really feel like the Neo Soul era was kind of like that too. Blackness. It's Americana. People don't necessarily think Americana when they think of Neo Soul, but I'm gonna call it Americana because it's Black America. Black America, okay? Head wraps. Head wraps was a thing too. You know, Erykah Badu had her head wraps, and a lot of people that don't know about it be like, oh, that's African. No. We had that thing called the Tion laws in Louisiana. And I think it happened in 1786. So the white men's was looking at the Creole, the mulatto, the black women up in that area that was freed, non-freed, and educated. It was an amalgamation of different types of black people over there. And they was looking hot. They was looking hot and sexy. And they was like, wait, they look good. You know, black women cause trouble because they looking so beautiful and so tasteful and so gorgeous. They was like, cover their hair up. So then they was like, okay, cool. We cover the hair up. They was like, this, we ain't having none of that. None of that in Louisiana. Cover it up. So they was like, okay, cool. So they covered it up and they had their little tall, you know, head wraps and things like that. Because you don't see African women wear head wraps. That's very much Black American. Girls were adorning them. They were putting all these things on to make it look fashionable. Fashion. It was coordinating. You know, we like to coordinate. The hair was covered up and they was still like, God damn it. God damn it, you black woman, you black woman. A lot of our movements, like, we take from bits and pieces of the past, and then we come back to the middle, and then get a little bit of the future. It's very beautiful. What a wonderful time. Now, I was very young. I didn't get all of my Neo Soul. You know what I'm saying? The last tank, hello, after administration, penetration. She said something like that. And just be silent. You know, you can just be quiet. You know, take a long walk. Do y'all even take walks anymore? Neo Soul was a time, and there are lots of lovely pictures. This is when I feel like we got the best photos of just blackness. It looked really good. Blackness looks good on you. I kind of feel like Pan-Africanism was a concept of Africa, born in America. This magical Negro land that we prophesized and imagined does not exist. This place only really exists in America. When I go back in time and I see videos of people like, oh, we was running in jungles in Africa and my boobies with everything big and waist is small and butt is not fat and hair blown in the wind. That is Black American. That's a Black American dream. That was never actually there. A conceptualized thing, born in America, born out of, there is a magical Negro land that we can all go and we can all just be, you know? And that place never really existed. And we had probably like little slots of that in parts of America. I think Black people are very, very imaginative and very magical and whimsical. And we just wanted to create this really nice fairy tale land. Yeah, it was a dream deferred. You know, we found out very quickly that that place doesn't exist. Jordan Peele, Negroland. So everybody driving Cadillacs and we over here running in the jungle with Cadillacs and head wraps and eating macaroni and cheese and rib tips and greens and cornbread. You know, it's like, okay. Sweet potato pies and pecan pie. I really like the commercials of the 70s. They was like, Afro Sheen, Mother Sheba, Queen of Africa.
Majestic, beautiful Queen of Sheba. Yes, so great was the beauty of this magnificent black woman, it has become legendary.
And it's just this very, very much American woman with this afro and their whole conceptualized idea of what they thought Africa was. I think it's sweet that that was something that was created and made up. And I do love the commercials and the music, and I just love the interpretations of what we thought. You know, they got to do that dance like, You know how we do, like Coming to America. I will say that dance break, that was hot. I really enjoyed that. I really liked it. That whole movie Coming to America, like, was very, very funny. Very, I would say camp. Very American, very camp. But yeah, Pan-Africanism is a dream deferred. It's Negro land, Negro land. What are we going to say about this time period? What will we be reflecting on now? I'm just gonna be honest. Nothing at this time period really inspires me. All of my inspo comes from yonder, from years ago, of times that I could not fully indulge in because I was too young. What is going to last? Is anything made to last? I have no idea. That's all the yap I have right now. If you guys like this hair, I got a tutorial on it. If you love it, if you want it. And thank y'all for watching this video. Bye.